bit of stuff here and there. And first thing I got to do is go and sweep some of the snow off this deck. As you might have seen on other streams, the deck is painted, and so it actually protects it from the weather pretty well. But it's a good idea to sweep it off so it doesn't get all iced over and etc. So I'm going to turn on a few more lights here, then come back here, see if anybody's up here, looking at the thing, and then then I'll start getting to work. It'll take probably 20-30 minutes for me to sweep everything off. I'm gonna try to get the top plates too. Oh, and Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas Eve. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start sweeping the deck off here. It snowed earlier, and I just hadn't had the chance yet to go ahead and sweep it off. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done before I start building, so I don't, have to walk around this crap all night and then it freezes up on me. So it'll be just a few minutes of me doing that. Basically, I'm just going to use I got this little squeegee brush that I've been using when it rains too. So you'll see in a second, once I get some of the snow off, the deck underneath, in fact, you can actually see it right back there. It's painted, I did that just to weatherproof it. It's not like cosmetic, this is the subfloor, but I did it just to weatherproof it, and it's held up really well against rain and snow. So when it snows, I'm just going to sweep it off. When it rains a lot, I sweep it off. Some still gets through into the basement, but there's a drain down there, it's okay. All right, let me get started. I'm going to show you something real quick. This is like, one of those oddly satisfying videos. I'll show. It actually is pretty nice. Hold on just a second. Move my camera. Oh, never mind. gonna go grab my gloves real quick. Okay, cool. Huh. It's funny. So, real quick, what's going on now? I'm just sweeping off this deck. You can see it snowed. I have a white Christmas here. So this deck, the floor here is painted. This is the subfloor. It's plywood. It's painted. And I did that so that it could be like weatherproof. So I can, now it snows, I can basically just sweep the stuff off so that it doesn't, you know, ideally it doesn't ice up and everything and make it a pain in the ass to walk around on. So that's what I'm doing. It'll probably be another 20 minutes or so, honestly, that I'm doing that. Then I'll start getting to work, checking some stuff with these beams here. So, all right, thanks for watching. Hope you're having a good Christmas Eve. was beautiful. On the ground, Monday morning. Sunday morning. hurling the snow. Get to you. Cal, you do it for yourself. You do. That's why it really hurts. You do it to yourself. Just you. You and no one else. calm down. Use a shovel for that. gonna be right back. I'm gonna go grab something. Like I said, I'll be back in just a second here. Alright, so I'm going to spend a little bit more time just cleaning off this deck here, then try to get on some other stuff. So just trying to, like I said, sweep the snow off. That's what I got this deck painted for like this, was that it's weatherproofed. So when it snows and it rains, I can just kind of slough it off a little bit better. All right, nearly done this stuff. So basically what I'm doing now is just, probably couldn't see it up there, but I'm gonna scrape some of that snow and ice off the top of those beams. And I wanna do that just so it doesn't like ice up, you know? It's still kind of warm now. It's probably not even 32 degrees right now. So, so again, if I could just get that snow and slush off there before, you know, before we get like, if we don't get a cold snap or something like that. I just don't want to have this like ice crust on top of there for when I want to go. It's going to be a pain when I want to go frame that clear story wall on top of there. Then I basically have this big bumpy, you know, thing that I have to like chip off. I don't suspect it's going to get that cold like very soon, but you know, just in case. So again, I'm going to go ahead and finish like sweeping that snow off of that. I might do it for the top plates too. Again, it's fairly warm right now, so I'm not too worried about it like freezing up. But you never know, the next few days it could. So I want to get some of that stuff off so that I don't have to contend with that when I'm going to try to like frame on top of it. So I'll just I'll point the camera up here a little bit. I know it's a little bit like not a lot going on right now, but I really got to do this, you know, and I try to just kind of document the whole process, even the interesting stuff like yesterday and then the boring shit like right now. But so I'll just be doing this a little bit longer. So, thanks for watching. Let's see here. And hope you're having a good Christmas Eve. That might be interesting if I fall off of that. Good content at least. Hope I don't. And she was born in a bottle rocket. Her spine. Escape. In my dreams. Shit, that's freaky. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna sweep up a little bit. Damn, sorry, I got these freaking lights on me like this. So I was trying to get the snow and ice off the top plates and off these beams up here, just so that it wouldn't like freeze up. I mean, it's supposed to be pretty warm. It's pretty warm tonight, but you know, if it gets a cold snap, that stuff will freeze up and I'll have this like crust on there that if I go to like, for example, when I go to frame on top of these beams here, have this big ice crust that I have to chip off. So I wanted to get that off tonight. So I'm just gonna sweep up the rest of this that I have here that I just knocked off on the floor. Then I'm gonna go ahead and probably string a line up here, check something on these beams. That's, we'll see. It might do some, I don't know if I'm gonna cut any timbers tonight or any rafters tonight, excuse me, but I'm just gonna go ahead and measure some stuff. So hope you're having a good Christmas Eve. Hope it's not too cold where you are either. Hope you got a little bit of snow like we did. Kind of nice for Christmas, but all right, well, I'm gonna get back to it. Thanks for watching. There we go. All right. Smoke stuff and drink. Wine. good for that. Done sweeping this shit up. So what I'm gonna do now, excuse me, is I'm gonna go ahead and check these on these beams up here, these 8x12 beams. I'm gonna go ahead and tilt them a little bit, because right now, see, when you get these beams, this lumber like this, especially these beams, these big timbers, sometimes they'll twist a little bit. So while I had these things sitting, they did twist a little bit. So I go to put them up there, and I mean, it's okay, you know, they're pretty good, but they are a little bit twisted. So what I want to do is basically shim under the sides of them. So I'm going to go up here and then shim kind of under there. And the idea is I want to have a flat level surface, because from one side to the other, I'm basically going to be putting a wall on top of that, so I'm trying to do this weatherman shit, I'm not good at it. Back from there to here, I'm going to be framing a wall on top of that. A very small wall, it's called a clerestory, and it's going to have windows in it. So I want that to be pretty level so that I can actually frame on top of it, not have like an uneven surface for lumber. So like I said, I'm going to go try to do that now. And yeah, pretty much that. Bring the scaffolding around here and then start kind of tilting them, putting some shims under there. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching, everybody. Christmas Eve. Okay. So real quick, what I'm gonna do before I go do messing with that up on top there, I'm gonna check these beams, see how make sure they're plumb again. They were when I put those braces on them there. I basically put the level against them, made sure they were standing straight, and then put the braces on them. But I just want to double check it again, just to make sure before I start messing with the beams. It's good to just double check and make sure that part of it. So let me do that real quick. So even though these they have these beams on top of them and they're pretty heavy, there is still time. If I find that one of these for some reason has gone a little bit out, then I still have time to put it back in at this point, you know. I have to be very careful because I don't want to shift it too much with this heavy, you know, shit on top of it, but still. That one's pretty close. I mean, that's nearly right on. Okay. That one's the same way. What I'm going to go ahead and do is just check at the top of these things. I'm going to string a line across there. So if I string a line from the one back here, my finger's on, all the way to the one up here, which is out of frame, and then I'll just check and see where the top, like the equivalent location is on that beam and that beam. Let's see. I'm going to take this off. just real quick, I'm gonna go ahead and drop this scaffolding thing down a couple pegs. It makes it a little bit more sturdy, which is nice when it's pretty icy here. And then also I'll probably be a little bit better level to actually work on those posts. I'm kind of standing above them right now. Not too big a deal, but anyways, just gotta take care of it real quick. Sorry. Oh, hey there, Futile91. Where are you? In Montana. But not in such a cold part. Maybe we need a Bluetooth speaker so you can speak right from where you are and not have to come back to the laptop. Yeah, well, it's actually a phone. So I can't see the comments if I'm back there. Otherwise, I don't mind doing that. Sometimes I'll actually yell out the stuff that I'm actually doing when I'm back over there. It's just that, and actually, yeah, I'll still do that a little bit. But like I said, usually I just come back so that I can actually check the comments. Eventually, like I said, it's just I'm streaming from my phone here. It's got a decent camera. But once I get to the point where I'm working on the inside and once the building is dried in, you know, then I'm hoping to actually use a laptop, you know, get a little bit better camera set up. It'd be kind of nice, but very nice camera. Yeah, right? Yeah, it's called the phone it's a OnePlus 5T. Got it somewhat recently. It's pretty nice. What about you? Where are you? Do you do building for a living? No. No, I do it on just nights and weekends. I work in like, you know, a somewhat related field, but no, I don't do construction for a living. So a lot of this is all I'm learning it. You know, you'll see a lot of the stuff that I'm messing with up here. I have to like really think it through because it's not obvious to me. I'm not like used to it. So I built a cabin before this, and that's how I had the experience doing this. And then I just have friends and neighbors who really experienced the stuff, and they come over and help. So, yeah, but fortunately, it's actually not too cold. Even though it looks a little bit, it's not too bad right now. But hopefully, it's not too cold where you're at. Hopefully, you got a little bit of snow for Christmas. All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and mess with these up here real quick. Like I said, I usually try to come back and check chat. I'm in Colombia working for the U.S. Embassy. Oh, shit. Wow. We're planning to retire soon to Chile, my home country, and I was hoping to build a little house there. Oh, right on. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was going to say in Colombia, I guess you'd not have to deal with the snow and everything, which you can't really see here, but the first, like, 30 minutes or so of my stream, if not more, unfortunately, I was just sweeping snow off because we got a bunch of snow. But yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Well, yeah, ask any questions, you know. I'll try to answer them. A lot of the stuff I still have to learn too, but feel free to answer them. Colombia, that's cool. Right on. Oh, okay. Dang. Yeah, you've been around. Okay. Lived in Wyoming, wife's from Montana. Wow. And then in Colombia, want to move to Chile? That's awesome. That's, wow, what a life. Okay, well, yeah, anyway, so like I said, the first part of this stream I was basically just sweeping the snow off and stuff because my thing is, you know, you can see the floor. It was painted. What I did is I had this 3/4 inch plywood that I'm using for the subfloor, and I painted it so that it would be weather resistant. And it works pretty well, you know. I mean, with the snow, with the rain. I mean, the rain, it still gets like through the cracks, and then it gets into the basement, which has a drain in it. I'm not doing anything with the basement yet. It's just a concrete floor. It's got a drain, so it drains right down in there. But I do try to make sure that when it snows, I get the snow off of the floor deck here, and then off of the top plates, you know, up there, etc., back there. Jesus, I'm not good at this yet. Which direction am I trying to point? Okay. So I try to get it off the deck and the top plates because I don't want it to get iced up and get these big chunks. So when I go to build on it, or when I'm walking around down here, I have these big chunks of ice that I have to scrape off later. So like I said, I was kind of fooling with that. Kind of sucks. But now I'm gonna start messing with this beam a little bit. So you have other videos from when you started the building? Yeah, I have. So this is number 14. And only if I realize Twitch actually takes them off after some period of time, so you'll probably only see maybe 5 of them on Twitch right now that I have, but they're sent to YouTube. And if you were to look up my username on YouTube, you should see them from day one. The first few streams I did were just awful, you know, the lag, and I just couldn't get it figured out. But there's a few interesting things with me moving these posts and beams around. Doing some of the sheathing, and then I'll just keep doing it, you know. All right. Well, like I said, feel free to type in chat. I'll come back and check it in a little bit here, and I'll just try to get a little bit of stuff done. So thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Twitch is showing 6. Okay, cool. Yeah, right on. I will be honest though, there are obviously better, more knowledgeable people to follow, but you'll at least when you watch these, you'll be able to see me kind of working through the steps because stuff's not obvious to me. So that might be a benefit there. Get up there. Oh, I remember I was going to do something on the other side. So it's funny with that scaffolding, I lowered that platform down just like 2 notches, but it already makes it a lot sturdier. It's kind of between it being at the very top one and, like I said, just down 2 notches, it makes it like I feel a lot safer to stand on. Now it is still slippery, so it's going to be really funny when I say that and then just like bust my ass, but hoping not here. I'm just gonna say what the step is I'm gonna do, and then I forget there's other steps I gotta do. So one of the things I'm gonna do here is I want to check and see there are slight gaps between these beams that I have up here. So I need to, I'm gonna check the full length of it. It should be 30 feet, that's the ideal. Excuse me. So it should be 30 feet. And if it's a little bit longer, then, which could be, because the middle of the wall, unless it's braced, which it is braced now, but they can still move in and out a little bit. So I'm going to measure that. If it's a little bit over 30 feet, and these, if the beams are flush with the edge of the wall, that means I really need to kind of try to squeeze it in just a little bit. The gaps between the beams are very small though, so not a big deal if I have to leave them like that, but I'm going to try to bring them in a little bit. That one, you just heard me smacking that beam down at the end there, because that one was a little bit sticking out. And so now this one I'm going to check here too. Then I'm going to measure them. All right, how long? Perfect. Okay. So I think that one of those, that beam back there that I was looking at, shifted. It might have shifted a little bit when we actually went, or excuse me, that post. The posts are the vertical ones. The beams are the horizontal ones. So it's possible that post shifted a little bit when we put the beams up. Fortunately, this one, just out of camera, just out of frame here, was actually sticking out a little bit. So I'm going to knock that thing back in. And there was I think that'll close up the gap nicely. And then I just try to check for level on these things just to make sure they're still standing up straight. Nails. There. Huh. That one up there, where did you get the floor plan? Floor plan? Well, I kind of used some other ones that I found and took some stuff here and there and made a few modifications. I learned how to use SketchUp to draw the thing out. In fact, I did everything, including the plan for the framing and stuff. So because I'm new to construction, so for me, like a lot of these wood interfaces here didn't really make sense to me, so I wanted to draw them up with the studs and everything, how it was all going to go together, and it's been very helpful. Like a framing crew would not really necessarily need this sort of stuff that I did for myself, just because I was so new to it. The floor is wood cement or something else. This floor that I'm standing on here is actually plywood, but this is the subfloor. So this is basically, you typically wouldn't see a floor like this green, like it is here. So typically you'd see it, and maybe you know this, so you know a little bit about construction, but typically that would just be plywood. It would be unfinished, and then you'd basically just, ideally you'd work fast, dry the whole thing in, and then you'd go ahead and put the finished floor in, which would be like a nicer wood. So this is basically, only reason I painted it like this is just so that it would weatherproof it, on the suggestion of somebody who says, hey, if you're going to be building it by yourself, taking a long time, they said paint the floor. And I imagine if you were doing that in Chile, it would be similar with like all the rain and stuff. It helps to have that paint layer in there because it just it protects that wood a little bit longer. If you get it dried in fast enough, it doesn't matter. But that plywood will start coming apart. By now, if I didn't have it painted, it would have been. So anyways, and I just got cheap paint, you know, the color didn't matter. I just got it from a hardware store that was basically had it discounted, you know. And so this stuff's taking a little while here. What I'm trying to do is basically put this, I don't know if you could see what I was doing up here, but I'm going to go ahead and put one of these back up here. I'm not going to tie it to that beam. I'm just going to set it up there as kind of a thing to hold it, make sure it doesn't slip off the side. I don't expect that it would, but just to be safe. That's funny. That was weird. Trying to think of a good way to move it. I don't want to put too much oomph in there right now when it's kind of icy and slippery and almost, you know, it's getting later. But how did you get to raise the beams up there? Well, what I did was, with the help of a neighbor, I actually did, that would have been an interesting video, but he works in construction, my neighbor, and I think he was a little apprehensive about putting like the setup that we had, putting it out there, and like, because it was kind of, I mean, it was a little rickety, you know. Frankly, what we used was these things called pump jacks. You could look up wall jacks, which are kind of similar. Wall jacks or pump jacks. So a wall jack would be like a little metal contraption that you stick a 2x4 through. And in the case, like, let's say I was going to be raising up one of these walls up here, one of these stud walls by myself, I'd use this wall jack on a 2x4 and crank the thing, and it would basically have, it would be like this kind of So the 2x4 would be jabbed into the floor, and you'd basically this contraption, you'd jack it up, and it would keep kind of raising up the 2x4, and you do that, you go along and do that, and you can use it to help you raise up a wall. A pump jack is similar to that. It's basically just bigger, and they use them for scaffolding, like if they're raising scaffolding up the side of a building. So you use these. In this case, it's 4x4s, which you made just by mating like two 2x4s together. And then it's a long one sticking straight up and down, and you've got to like fasten the top of that so that it doesn't move around because you're carrying hundreds of pounds on it. So you fasten that to the top plates using 2x4s. Yeah, so it's pretty nuts. Actually, I don't think I got any of the video of it, but it was pretty cool. The other way people would do that is if we weren't just doing it, if I wasn't doing it like on as much of a budget, if I was like going to spend a little bit more, I could have just had a crane come in here and put it, not like a huge crane, but like a construction crane that has these like, it kind of looks like a scissor lift almost, with a thing sticks out. So anyways, like I said, I'm gonna try to find a good way here to move the thing over. I think what I'm gonna do is just screw something into the top of that beam and then hammer it a little bit. Like I said, I really don't want to like give it too much oomph right now because it's nighttime, it's getting icy, and it's a little sketchy. So and I'll probably call it at 9, so it's probably got about 40 minutes left here, I think. But thanks for watching. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to try putting this on top of the beam, just like screwing it in, and then I'll have a surface to hammer. I'm going to see if that works, I don't know if you can see it, but actually it rolls a little bit right now because the sort of twist of the timber, it's slightly warped. So on one side, one edge is touching the other side, the other edge is touching it. It's not too bad, but it's just, it's obviously noticeable here. So I'm gonna basically be putting some wedges under that, some like shims, and I'll also, hoping that when I actually go and put these long screws through the ends of them into the posts, that it'll sort of rewarp it in a way. I don't know. It might be like kind of wishful thinking. It's kind of it is most likely not going to do much of that, but you never know. So that didn't really work. It sheared the screws off. I think with some nails it'll be a little bit stronger, and that might actually work. But I'm gonna just think about it a little bit, see if there's something else that might be smarter, like maybe even just clamping. No, I'm gonna figure something out here real quick. Hey, you know what? I'm actually going to go ahead and probably call it here. Just when I start trying out too much of this stuff, and I'm on this kind of icy platform, tomorrow, once that thing gets a little bit of sun, it'll be easier, better for me to stand on, and then I'll actually just be able to kind of hold the beam and then pull it a little bit, and that worked fine. But I'm not really comfortable fooling with that right now. Those beams are so heavy. So like I said, it's getting kind of late. Not a bad time just to go ahead and call it for the night, and then come back tomorrow. And I will be out. I'll be doing this tomorrow quite a bit, because it should be a nice day and not too cold and everything. And it's Christmas, so what the hell? My family's not around here, so it's all good. Anyways, thanks for watching. And yeah, exactly. And I don't know how much of a delay the video is on versus the chat, but yeah, sometimes the stuff, like, I don't mind, for example, if it gets late, I don't mind doing some work, like, the framing work. If I'm just kind of like cutting some stuff with the saw, not a bad deal. Take care. Go to Christmas. All right, I will, man. Thanks for watching, and yeah, hopefully I'll see you on here again soon. All right. Cool. Glad you found me too, and glad I can chat with you a little bit. Yeah, if you're not doing stuff tomorrow, if you're like me, you don't have family around, and you're gonna be on Twitch, feel free to check me out. Like I said, I'll be on here tomorrow. So, all right, have a good Christmas, and yeah, hopefully see you again soon. Thanks. Bye.